Big good one here, and eventually we will like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. Help promote and rank up my channel. I greatly appreciate all the clicks, likes, all that good stuff. So today we're reviewing Bliss. Stars Owen Wilson, Selma Hayek, and the actor writer's name, which is Mike Cahill. Maybe that's how you pronounce it, maybe not. But this is an Amazon original. And the story on this one, a mind-bending love story following Greg, who after recently being divorced and then fired, meets the mysterious Isabel, a woman living on the streets and convinced that the polluted broken world around them is a computer simulation. Now, all that sounds really interesting on paper, except for this isn't really much of a mind-bending story. The trailer will make you think maybe Inception, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Matrix, something with something that's a bit epic, has a lot of substance, depth, but it's not that much of a mind bender, and it's not that much of a love story either. You think Owen Wilson, Selma Hayek, and there's bound to be some laughs, there's bound to be some quality entertainment, but if you see the trailer, you will highly likely be disappointed by this film.
It's not on straight.
It's almost like a trick being played.
So I recommend not seeing the trailer when going into it. Even then, I can't say for certain if you'll be disappointed. People have different taste and all that. But let's go ahead and break this down.
I have a picture in my head of a place. I don't know if it's real.
Right, so the most positive stuff about this, it's got Owen Wilson.
You ready? There's my guy.
And Selma Hayek, it does have some intriguing sort of sci-fi lore going on with it. It's got an interesting kind of backstory. It's got an interesting world that it straddles, and it's interesting to see this guy kind of go on this downward spiral of uncertainty to straddle the line, and there is a bit of mystery surrounding it, whether it's real or fake, what's real, what's not. There's a bit of mystery surrounding it that does make it somewhat interesting. There are some cool things in there.
I want to tell you something really cool.
But unfortunately, there's not a lot I can say positive. There are some pretty dramatic moments. There are some interesting things done with it. But ultimately, the execution on this, we just have to go straight to all the negatives on this film.
I have to experience the good. So appreciate the bad.
So unfortunately, this film has a lot of negatives. I mean, it does have this sort of thing going for it that's like The Matrix, Inception, Vanilla Sky, all these things. The trailer will give you very misleading vibes.
Welcome home.
This place is overwhelming.
And when you go in the film, just watching Owen Wilson go on this downward spiral with his recent divorce, getting fired, meeting Selma Hayek's character,
You're real.
Sorry?
who could be considered a shining knight coming in at the best possible time, or a bad influence coming in at the worst possible time.
You see all these people outside? They're not real.
But through her, he's influenced to believe that reality as he knows it is fake. People are fake.
Most people say ignorance is bliss.
Through use of drugs, he starts to believe her, and this movie really straddles the fence, much like the character, between the two realities. And it's an interesting concept, but it's a convoluted mess.
Graduation.
I did not forget. It's been a crazy few days.
Graduated 2 weeks ago.
It's more confused than Owen Wilson's character in this movie.
But it has a feeling. And the feeling's real.
It's a really on-the-nose, transparent metaphor for drug addiction. The movie fumbles around. It's clumsy and just ugly. I've been homeless. Everybody around you behaves like these guys. It's really off-putting.
I'm scared.
Ugly, simulated world.
Chasing addiction, reckless, wild, mean-spirited. Nobody matters but them. They believe they're above responsibility in this world because nothing matters. This is a poorly executed movie, a very ugly experience that will lure you in with a very attractive trailer that the movie does not live up to. It's a real drag, and it doesn't really know what it wants to be. It doesn't want to be sci-fi. It doesn't want to be a love story. It doesn't want to be a drama. And does it want to be a movie about drug addiction, or does it want to be an entertaining fantasy that's pretty thought-provoking?
These days, I'm going to have to choose between these worlds.
But I think it's a pretty transparent, on-the-nose metaphor for drug addiction, and it's whereas it should have aimed to be more entertaining and
To generate appreciation for the real world.
Why am I not remembering any of this?
Don't worry about it.
it never commits to one idea fully. It's just spending too much time straddling the damn fence.
But I caught you. Word on the street that there have been problems with Isabel's research.
So, final thoughts on this one. I would give it a 4 out of 10. Yes, I would go as far as giving it a 4 out of 10 because
I'm a little disoriented.
while it does have great actors like Owen Wilson and Selma Hayek in it, there's not a lot done with their performances. You don't get a lot out of it. It is interesting to think that, oh yes, there's this one side of reality where things are so good that you'd create this false reality, this ugly one, to go into and remind you how good you have it by experiencing the bad. So I mean, that's interesting, but when you don't commit to it, and it just feels like an obvious, on-the-nose, transparent metaphor for drug addiction, and this movie doesn't feel as entertaining as it should. It should have been more entertaining instead of this transparent. That's my opinion on it. Anyways, you're entitled to your own, and I'd absolutely like to hear it in the comment section. How much did you enjoy this film? The concept is really interesting to me. The execution is just awful, messy, all over the place. But let me know your thoughts and opinions. If you enjoyed the film, I'm really glad you did. I want to hear what it was exactly that really reeled you in and hooked you to this film. Fake Goodwin here. Eventually we will like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. Stay awesome, rock on, and I hope to see you in the comment section below.